blows your hair back, baby? What blows your hair back? What blows your hair? Whatever blows your hair back. Studio.
Tyler, if you guys are just tuning in, we got Will in here. We're talking about some Chicago boxers. He's an amateur. He's coming up.
Wow.
Oh, you're
Yes,
pro.
Sir.
See, I gotta get my shit straight up here.
It's all good.
I'm just gonna do it like this. Why don't you tell us a little about yourself? You're a pro boxer. You're coming up, Will, out of Chicago. We just met. You come from Harv's gym, and I'm here to put you on, and I want to learn about you. Give us some information.
Whatever blows your hair back.
Yeah, give us
William
that shot.
Holcomb checking in. Nino boxing. They know me as Nino. I'm 4-1 professional fighter in the city of Chicago now. And yeah, we looking forward to the next fight. I'll probably be in the ring in July.
July, is that a while? July, is that a while?
Yeah, it is a
I
little
think that's a
while.
while. But when you're pro, you're 6 months at a time, I would say.
I mean, honestly, we had a good year before. I almost was fighting maybe every 2 months or so, 2-3 months. Just kind of the
How old are
rumbling
you?
of life. I'm 33 now.
33.
Yes,
yeah, so
sir.
we got to get some fights. You're all right. We get some. You're right there. You're right there. Because from my information, this is what I've learned just on the
it to me.
WBC title. Just
Okay.
like if you're doing a WBC title fight, they want a guy with 10 fights. They looking for a guy that's 10 fights around in between 28 and 33 years old. So when I like to ask that question, just because I like to see where the fighter is. So when you're there, that's why. Do you feel that pressure? Because you want to get probably about 5 more fights, and then the WBC can give you a chance for a title fight. Does that make sense?
Yes, yay and nay. So I mean, I understand those things and expectancies, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think for me, I'm a little bit different. I kind of consider myself an outlier, even my journey into boxing. So I did start a little bit later.
Okay.
But with that, I had to learn a lot, much more of the process on my own. So
Sure.
rumbling forward, I think we've kind of maneuvered and found routes as far as doing some of those bigger fights later on. If you build a record, yeah, we can take shots like that. But I don't ever feel, I guess, limited to my age to kind of pull
That's
back
fine.
on
Yeah, I feel like that stigma's out there, though.
Yeah,
And I didn't want to. I didn't want to press
and
that
it's
on
fair,
you. And yeah, I didn't want to
I
press that on
definitely
you.
understand that part.
Because I'm older. I'm 37. So when I'm even talking about doing anything, people looking at me like you're freaking crazy for even being around the sport.
Honestly,
You know,
you'll get a lot of different feedback. I started boxing in high school, however. Never really got a chance to fight. I know I was training since about my sophomore year in high school, and always had been under different professionals, and kind of like shared earlier, I bounced around the city and got to check out different gyms. Didn't really start fighting until I got to college in Missouri, found a gym, and they loved my skill set, and it kind of took off from there.
So it's more of the gym kind of put you on.
Man, it's crazy because you can pour a lot into boxing and expect things, but it won't really give back. I think over time and that tenacity and keeping that steadfastness in the journey is what begins to elevate you. So in the beginning, it was a lot happening, but
So
now,
wait, so you got some recognition, some motivation in Missouri, and then you're like, all right, my time's up here. I'm going back to Chicago, and I'm gonna keep my head up and go poke my head back in the gym with some.
Missouri was muddy. I did my first few amateur fights was the St. Louis Golden Glove. I ended up making it to the championship. My next turnaround, I think I was in Florida, but came back to fighting the Kansas City Golden Gloves. I made it to the championship again.
Shout out Kansas City.
Yeah, shout out to these states. I should have won, but whatever.
You got a little Kansas City back already,
I wanted to be
man.
like
I
the
thought it
best of the Midwest or something,
Damn
man. So I
well.
went to all these different Golden Gloves in the cities, but those were my early experiences as far as fighting. My amateur wasn't really a slow start.
How many amateur fights do you have?
Close to 22, maybe a little bit over.
Yeah, so you just took. You know, we just talked to the other gentleman who just had the complete opposite. You know, he's got 80 fights. He's 19. So then you got that cup of tea. Then you got yourself, and that's
Right.
what I see.
And that's what I'm saying.
see.
I feel like my journey is a little bit different. I'm kind
Yep.
of an outlier.
Yeah.
Zach is a pedigreed champion, and with that kind of tenure,
Yeah. Yeah.
he comes with that experience to the ring. So
Yeah.
I've always liked working with guys like that, and I think that's what sharpened me as well.
Yeah.
Even coming across great fighters like that, and I guess we kind of trade off on knowledge and what we've learned
For
from
sure.
the game,
Yeah.
sparring sessions and stuff like that. Yeah.
That's good. So yeah, how many times you won the Golden Gloves and a little background where you're from? I guess. Well, we know that you're from Missouri.
No, I'm
but
from
then-
Chicago. I just ended up going to school in Missouri.
All right, yeah, clean that
grew up in
story. Clean- you
Chicago,
came back,
Illinois.
how'd you get back?
Went to college
With
in
heart.
Missouri. Came back and we won like 11, 12 straight fights. I think 8 of them was knockouts. So we knew we were
Okay.
turning pro. Then I did the Golden Glove early on. We won 4 straight fights.
You did a couple Golden Gloves. You said you did them in Kansas City. then you did
Yeah, I
in
made it to the
Missouri.
finals in those like early on, but I didn't win. So
That's all right,
I mentioned
man.
them as far as my journey, but there's like a little scab there.
It's still a struggle, man. I fought in the Golden Gloves. and I made it
Definitely.
4 rounds in, and I wanted it to be done at the last fight, the 4th fight. I didn't care if I won or lost.
And sometimes you fighting back to back.
That's
to
what
back,
I was
to
like,
back.
I'm over this shit. They want 2 fights in 1 weekend. I was only 16,
Exactly.
and I'm like, Dad, is this normal? Is this what they do? You know, like, and so I didn't. It's a lot of work, but I commend you. You know, everybody who does, anyone who sits in that seat, usually has fought in the Golden Gloves. I try to make sure they fought in the Golden Gloves. Because what's your advice on if you're going to enter into boxing? Do you expect someone to be fighting the Golden Glove? At least have that in their repertoire.
If you're gonna enter into boxing, I think over time that is kind of the expectancy.
Yeah.
Because every boxer's looking to test themselves, looking to see where they measure up in the ranks. Usually the Golden Glove is the hone of that in your city. So they'll highlight and you'll end up being matched up to see where you fall.
Yeah.
So Golden Glove is an excellent place to.
I think
Not
it's a,
only
I think it's
showcase,
a
but-
must kind of. If I meet a fighter and they ain't fighting the gloves, I'm just like, well, where are you from? What's been going on? Like, have you heard of the Golden Gloves? Like, why haven't you fought in it? That's just my take on it. 'Cause
Honestly.
I grew up and that's all I heard as a kid, and that's all my grandparents preached was Golden Gloves, Golden Gloves, Golden Gloves. And I just would like to keep that going. I think that's a good foundation for this sport.
I learned about it late actually, but as soon as I fell into boxing, like you said, I saw how prominent the Golden Gloves was, and I definitely wanted to.
Because we get
partake
the
at some
recognition.
point.
If you can make it, like you said, into the further rounds, like the first fights, no one showed up. When I was already fighting in the States, then we were on the Jumbotron.
Yep.
I'm like, whoa. Then they were making videotapes of us on the one after that.
They used to put it in the paper and all this other
Yeah, no,
history
they
that
do
I hear
that.
about it. Yeah, so
Yeah,
Golden
and
Gloves
you don't
pretty
see
big.
that anymore.
No.
You don't see that, and I want to do that. Not to make this about the Golden Gloves or what I want to do, but for the Golden Gloves coming up, you're fighting in? Or no,
No.
you're pro, I'm sorry. The Golden Gloves coming up, but I would like to go there and put those fighters on just so we can educate and bring this information to them. Like we just talked about.
And give them a platform.
Give them a platform so they can go back and like, yeah, I fought. And because what happened is a lot of these fights aren't even in the Golden Gloves. Aren't like the Golden Gloves aren't really on TV or they're not publicized. Or these fighters were young and they don't even know where that fight is anymore, who they fought.
And
if
it's a lot of work poured into it. You're
yeah.
right.
So if we did that and showed up and put their name down, then everyone's got a starting portfolio coming into the career of the Golden Gloves, which I didn't. My first 4 fights are gone. I don't know where they were. I don't know what they looked like. They're gone. And that's one of the reasons that I started this is like finding these young fighters, you know, that don't have all this going on and kind of bringing that up. So that shit ain't gone for them. Anyways, that's my take on what I would like to see out of the Golden Gloves. Yeah, where do you see yourself next year and what's the plan? I'm going to repeat it. He don't got a mic. And what do you plan on doing going
Just
forward?
continuing the journey of fight, picking up the pace as far as my professional fights, continuing to put on a show, literally going to these cities. I love when they tell me I'm the fight of the night. So continuing to pour out, leaving it all in the ring. What do you get when you see a Nino boxing fight? How do you feel about it?
I feel like we're getting the highest quality of boxing too.
I really pour my time and energy into this, and then like I said, I leave it all in the ring, and I feel like I carry a lot of that energy with me, and I'm a great boxer. But
I feel the
I'm
energy.
also a great fighter, and I don't know if that combination is everywhere out here.
Yeah.
But I like to dabble in both, so I think I'm an entertaining fighter. I've also got a nice defensive tactic to me. I'm a counter fighter, but I also bring the pressure. So when in Chicago or around boxing, I like to bring a show. I know part of it is entertainment, but yeah, I just love the craft. Excuse me.
What you got, Harv? What's one more question we can ask him? I was going to mention that earlier. Is there anybody, I was on my mind. If you're a fighter that wants to start a little beef, is there anybody that you want to call out or that you got beef with in Chicago that you're trying to square up with?
I don't think I do at the moment. it's a self journey. I'm constantly improving and looking to better myself. I don't really see nobody across from me right now, but
Somebody's
I know
gotta
there's
piss
a
you
lot
off.
of great boxers. Can't nobody really hold that space to me.
That's fine, you know, and that's okay. We don't want to dig for that if that's not how you roll.
I think there are a lot of fights I'm looking forward to. So as we build and pace to that, we'll definitely push and look to showcase that a lot more.
All right, so we're looking to see you in July coming up, right?
Yes,
July,
sir.
is that what we got over there, Harvey? You got some working in July, some slots? So that means he's skipping the 420 fight where the pros and the amateurs are rolling. So
I'll be at a wedding. I was actually scheduled for that fight. Looking forward to it. I was in camp early on it.
man, whose wedding is this?
My father.
Oh, it's your father's.
He got me. That's what I said.
You exhaled on it a little bit.
So, unfortunately, I won't be at the next event, but I'm definitely looking forward to getting back into the ring and to showcasing.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be at the next event. If anyways, you're not gonna be in the next event. Hopefully, we're gonna be at the event that you're gonna be at in July. But I'm Tyler with Whatever Blows Your Hair Back, and we're here at the studio, and we're always bringing in the boxers and telling the best stories. And here we have it today with Harv, and they brought in his fighters today. And
Nino
our story-
Boxing.
Give him a shout out one more time.
Shout
Nino,
out
tell them who you
Harv
are, where we
Boxing.
find
This
you.
is Will with Nino Boxing. You can find me on Instagram at Nino_Boxing. We just put out a Funko figurine as well. You can get you a Nino Funko, leave it at your office, in your desk, at your school, at your workspace. It's commemorating the journey that we've done thus far. I'm 4-1 as a professional. Last fight was a 6-rounder and a 4-rounder, so we just looking to continue to big it up.
Hell yeah, that's what I
Thank
like.
y'all for the support. Shout out to all my sponsors, the Industry Shy, Chicago Legal Exchange, and Even Flow. One more shout out to Whatever Blows Your Hair Back. I had a great time. This has been a journey, and I appreciate y'all for coming along with me.
Man, thank you for dropping your sponsors. I'm going to keep this going one more second. No one ever dropped. I used to be a sponsor, and I was so bugged that none of my fighters dropped my sponsors. They would never say my name like that.
We got a Nino Funko. So,
Nino, I got it.
I'll definitely
You showed me
show
that you know
some-
how to
it's
rep your guys that
fire.
take care of you.
That's one thing I've learned.
And that's
my
the older,
journey's
and the
been
older
crazy.
boxers
and,
understand that shit too. You understand
you got
relationships and
support and
business.
enablers, which is
Yeah.
rare. So I definitely pour into boxing, but I also want to give back to the people that have been helping and enable me in this space. Boxing is a poor man's sport, so it's already people know, so it's already like people want to lowball you or take from you, and it ain't much you got, but you're fighting to get to that next space. So I'm gonna carry all of my sponsors and supporters with me. I really appreciate my fans and support in Chicago.
Yeah, and you got a good grasp on that. And there's the naysaying on the younger boxers. They don't understand that yet. They don't understand the support that got them to where they were. They kind of take it for granted a little bit. They just don't know any better. But that's one thing I've noticed with elderly boxers. They really take care of their sponsors because they appreciate that shit. So I appreciate you appreciating that, and I just want to let that be known. And I love Whatever Blows Your Hair Back. We love you guys giving a shout out, sharing our content, because that's what we're here for. We're here to build content for you, for these fighters. You guys share the content with everybody else. In return, we're all giving the circle, right? It's all going in a circle, and we're all going to win.
Exactly.
So I'm glad we talked about that. We're signing out of here. I'm Tyler with Whatever Blows Your Hair Back.
Introducing Whatever Blows Your Hair Back, baby. What blows your hair back? What blows your hair? Whatever blows your hair back, studio.